10 months ago, Trevoh Chalobah was cast aside, sent back to the academy, stripped of his squad number, and left out of the pre-season tour. Today, he's a world champion. This isn't a fairy tale. It just happened at Chelsea. And no, Chalobah isn't some once-in-a-generation talent. He didn't arrive on the scene with fireworks or fanfare. What makes his story remarkable isn't brilliance, but resilience. Quiet, relentless resilience. Throughout last season, Chalobah held on to something far more powerful than hype. Belief. Belief in himself. Belief in his club. Belief in a chance that seemed like it would never come. But when that moment finally did arrive, he seized it, and he didn't just return. He rose. This is the story of a new generation of footballers. Players who don't complain, who don't demand, who don't break. They just work in silence and let destiny catch up. If you had to choose one moment to capture the essence of Chalobah's 2024, it wouldn't be a trophy lift. It would be a meaningless preseason. Friendly Chelsea U-21s versus Boreham Wood, a fifth-tier English side. While the senior team was touring America with their new crop of multi-million-pound signings, Chalobah, once a key figure just a season earlier, was captaining the U-21s, not as a mentor, but as an afterthought, as storage. No official statement, no club explanation, just silence. His name quietly disappeared from the first-team radar, as if he had never existed. Weeks later, he was dropped from the official squad list, lost his number 14 shirt. Chelsea began shopping him around, hoping for any reasonable offer before the window closed. To make matters worse, a section of fans turned on him. Transfer rejection turned into ridicule. Some even called for him to be benched for the entire season. Punishment, they said, for not leaving when he had the chance. At that point, Chalobah wasn't part of any football plan. He was a forgotten asset, stuck in limbo, waiting to be sold. But that's how ruthless modern football can be. In the cold logic of professional systems, players become commodities. Clubs evolve, systems shift, a change in manager, a new tactical blueprint, a different vision, and suddenly you're no longer needed. With Enzo Maresca stepping in, bringing his own ideas, formations, and players, Chalobah's exclusion made sense, on paper at least. What didn't make sense was how Chalobah handled it. No cryptic Instagram posts, no interviews pleading for a move, no bitterness, no noise, just silence. And when a loan move to Crystal Palace materialized, he trained, he played, with full professionalism, with pride, with the heart of someone who refuses to sulk, no matter the circumstances. Perhaps the most powerful part of this entire story didn't even come from Chalobah himself, but from someone telling it. As Chelsea lifted the FIFA Club World Cup, journalist Fabrizio Romano posted on Threads, not just to report the moment, but to send a message to every footballer who feels left behind. If you're not happy of your current situation, think of Trevoh Chalobah. 10 months ago, he was completely out of Chelsea project, not even allowed to train with the first team. He didn't complain. Work harder, keep going. Go on loan to Crystal Palace, perform at the best level possible, never speak bad words. Keep trusting yourself. Chelsea recall him in January. We need you. Here I'm for my club. No bad vibes. Top performances. Become a key player for the coach. Today, Trevoh is a world champion. And that, everything that came before, was the foundation you needed to truly understand the rest of this story. Trevoh Chalobah didn't answer his critics with words. He responded the only way that really matters in football, on the pitch. In January 2025, Chelsea didn't recall Chalobah to spark some tactical revolution. This wasn't a masterstroke. They were simply patching a hole. Wesley Fofana had suffered yet another long-term injury. Benoit Badiashile was crumbling in big matches. The club was entering the business end of the season, knockout rounds in Europe and the Club World Cup. Bringing back Chalobah was seen, at best, as a temporary fix. No one expected much. Most saw him as a warm body, just a backup. But football has a special place for those who wait, who endure, who stay ready. Chalobah didn't just return as a stopgap. He became part of the solution. In the second half of the season, he was suddenly everywhere. Premier League, Conference League, and most notably, the FIFA Club World Cup, where Chelsea wrote history by becoming world champions for the very first time. In the quarter-final against Palmeiras, Chalobah was back in the starting lineup, his first start in 4 matches, anchoring a back 4 in a high-pressure game. It was a tight, cagey affair, until Chalobah slipped a perfectly weighted pass to Cole Palmer for the opening goal. In the semi-final against Fluminense, he completed 54 out of 54 passes, a 100% pass completion rate. He led the team in ball recoveries with 7, reading the game like a seasoned chess master. No rash tackles, no reckless moments, just flawless positioning and calm execution. Then came the final, Paris Saint-Germain. A star-studded attack featuring Ousmane Dembélé, Kvicha Kvaratskhelia, and Désiré Doué. Chelsea won 3-0. Cole Palmer stole the headlines with 2 goals and an assist. João Pedro lit up the stage. But behind that brilliance, there was a wall named Chalobah. Alongside Marc Cucurella, Levi Colwill, and Malo Gusto, he shut the door on one of the most dangerous attacking units in world football. And the numbers don't lie. Among all players who played at least 350 minutes in the tournament, Trevoh Chalobah had the highest pass accuracy, 96.7%. That isn't just consistency, that's elite composure under pressure. Ironically, that composure was once seen as his weakness when Enzo Maresca took over. But as the season unfolded, Chalobah didn't just prove people wrong, he erased the doubt entirely. There were no grand speeches, no motivational posts, no carefully crafted redemption narrative on Instagram. Chalobah let his football do the talking, and after 3 consecutive starts against Palmeiras, Fluminense, and PSG, on the biggest stage of all, he made it impossible to leave him out of the conversation. He may never shout his story from the rooftops, but he doesn't need to. Because Trevoh Chalobah, forgotten, discarded, doubted, became a pillar in Chelsea's most defining triumph in years. And for him, that's more than enough. Over the past 2 years, Chelsea have spent hundreds of millions on centre-backs. Wesley Fofana, Benoit Badiashile, Axel Disasi. Then came the pursuit of Mark Guehi, Jarrad Branthwaite, Jorel Hato. In today's market, where young players are strategic assets, bought and sold not just for footballing reasons but for financial leverage, Trevoh Chalobah was seen as surplus, not the right profile, not profitable enough, not marketable. Even when he was recalled mid-season, the way Chelsea used him felt cautious, like a last resort, not a statement of belief. But as the season came to a close, all those spreadsheets and depreciation calculations became meaningless if they didn't account for one thing: impact. Chalobah didn't just steady a leaky defense. He helped Chelsea secure a Champions League spot. He played a key role in their Conference League triumph. And most of all, he stood tall as they conquered the world at the FIFA Club World Cup. Suddenly, Chelsea were forced to ask themselves, had they misjudged what they already had? Even Enzo Maresca, once thought to see no tactical place for Chalobah, had a change of tone. In the press conference after the Club World Cup final, he said, "All the players with us, I don't want to lose them. But when the window is open, anything can happen." It wasn't a promise, it wasn't a guarantee, but it was something, a sign that Chalobah was no longer outside the plan. He had become part of it. And at a club undergoing massive restructuring, just existing in that conversation is already a testament to character. For young players everywhere, Trevoh Chalobah is a rare example. He's not a Cobham prodigy like Reece James. He doesn't have Levi Colwill's media buzz. He doesn't carry the commercial shine of a blockbuster signing. Chalobah is ordinary, in a world obsessed with extraordinary, and maybe that's what makes him so special. He doesn't shout. He doesn't beg for the spotlight. He just carries bricks. From the academy to the first team, from being ignored to being indispensable. As Chelsea captain Reece James once said in the dressing room, if they don't want to carry the bricks, they're not the ones to build with. No one had to ask Chalobah twice. Brick by brick, quietly and consistently, he built something. He never demanded the leading role, but when the spotlight found him, he was there, steady, strong, and ready to fight. The critics have gone quiet. The calls to sell have turned into calls to keep him. Even with clubs like Napoli circling, Chelsea no longer seem eager to let him go. It's a shift, not just in his status, but in how the club sees value. And that's why, in the end, they now call him what he always was, the outcast who became a champion. If Chelsea once came close to losing Chalobah because they made up their minds too soon, then maybe, just maybe, future Cobham talents won't have to prove themselves in such painful ways. Maybe all they'll need is to look at Trevoh Chalobah to understand that sometimes patience is a kind of talent too.